Peace, family, and welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Radio. This is your host, Brother Rich, and I'm joined once again by the living legend, Professor Griff. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Oh, give thanks, good brother, and it's a pleasure to be back, man. It's a pleasure to be back. Thank you very much.
Definitely, man. I received a lot of a great response from the last show we did with Chuck D. I want to give a shout out to Chuck D from Public Enemy, man. Your two brothers did a magnificent job on the show last week, and the people definitely enjoyed it, and I hope everybody was able to gain something from it. So I just want to give you a thanks once again for that, Professor Griffin, what you do every week.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. But we, you know what? But we're on to this show this week, Professor Griff. And you know what's going on with this week? Professor Griff, I would say about 8 months, the past 8 months to a year, people email me randomly. They hit me up. They say, Rich, man, why don't you and Griff do a show about this girl, Azealia Banks, in hip-hop? She's always saying something. Griff is always dealing with racism and white supremacy. She's always saying something dealing with racism and white supremacy in the media and in hip-hop. So I said, I got my ear to the streets. I see what's going on. I say, I'm interested, but not yet. And I keep saying not yet. I'm gonna see what's going on. I even hit the sister up on Twitter to see if she responded. I wanted to interview her, didn't get a response. But recently she wrote an essay on Twitter entitled "Whiteness is a Mental Illness." So I said, you know what? After that, I said, I want to talk to Professor Griff about what's going on in the country, not only with Azealia Banks, but black and whites with mental illness, whether it's blacks hating blacks or whites hating blacks or whatever's going on in this country right now because of the food, because of the media and the indoctrination, because of slavery. I said, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it from a different perspective because, Professor Griff always deals with racism, white supremacy, and I don't think there's anybody after Dr. Francis Wilson that deals with it to the extent that Professor Griff deals with it. So I feel like the time is right. I want to read briefly. I want to read this. She got into a little Twitter beef. I'm not really interested in the Twitter beef and the gossip and all that. I'm more interested in solving what's going on with our people. So I want to read to you what she actually wrote on Twitter regarding the mental illness in America. All right, let me start here. From the minute I appeared on the scene, I was told by black men and black media that I was ugly, skinny, had bad hair, was weird, made music for white people, etc. And those messages penetrated the social consciousness of black America very quickly. I've been belittled, berated, stolen from, called crazy when making clear and true observations about the world we live in, only to then have all of those things reveal themselves to be truths. I'm not blaming anyone or anything for any of my actions, but I think it's really important for our people outside of us, black folks, to understand the detrimental effects of whiteness and white supremacy, white cultural pervasiveness on black people, mental health as a whole, and the mental health of the black individual herself. I'm going to end it there for now. I'm going to get into her tweets a little later, but I'm going to end it there for now. But like I said, Professor Griff, since I started this show with you, we've been dealing with the similar topic, white supremacy, the fear of white genetic annihilation. It's kind of weird. Now, she's been on the radio. She's been in mainstream. She talks about culture appropriation, racism, white mental illness. She's called black celebrities from T.I. to Charlemagne, Coons, and Uncle Tom. She talks about white privilege, but at the same time, she's gay. She's gay. She says she deals with white men. She says I guess she prefers white men. Whatever she's going through with black men in her life, she deals with white men sexually, deals with women, and that doesn't fit the mold traditionally of what we hear from a Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, from a Professor Griff, from a Dr. Phil Valentine. So the millennials that hear us deal with what they call consciousness, they're getting it from a whole different perspective, a whole different outlook from a Professor Griff. So I want to ask a Professor Griff, somebody like Azealia Banks. She's been featured in the Final Call. They interviewed her last year in the Final Call. Very outspoken, says things that the average black man in the media won't say. Professor Griff, what is your take on this, I guess you would say this new approach, this millennial approach, or this approach that's not traditional, where people are speaking out against black issues, but they're not the traditional spokesman for black issues, like Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, like a Dr. Khalid Muhammad, like a Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, like a Professor Griff. How do you feel about elder when you see this, when you see what's going on? What's your take on this, Professor Griff?
Well, Brother Rich, that is a lot of question, and I can understand why you would have to cover so many things in one question, simply because you, in and of yourself, in trying to understand this dilemma, is trying to rationalize it in your mind. So rather than your question be a normal question like 2 sentences, your shit is 2 paragraphs. Because you can't even kind of make sense of it in order to even get it across in a question format. You understand what I'm saying? How in the hell, in one breath, these new millenniums produce exactly what they probably need, Azealia Banks, produce probably what they need, Donald Trump, because these kind of people are good for America right now. They're not good for us. So when you're speaking of mental illness, this fits the bill. Azealia Banks is the very embodiment of the product that white people wanted to produce in 2016 to neutralize the conscious community. So if they hail her as the reigning queen of dealing with black issues, and they constantly point to her and they give her free reign on social media, then now she becomes the go-to person to talk to about these social issues that black people are faced with. Oh, we're doomed if we have to go to her, because even at the end of what our I could say social scientists, our elders, now our ancestors, have given us the solutions. The Amos Wilsons have given us the solutions. The Dr. Francis Cress Wilson have given us the solutions. Once we go to them and we able to kind of sift through their work and lay their work at the feet of not only white America to deal with, but black imps and Negroes to deal with, and entertainers like Azealia Banks, it becomes a problem, Brother Rich, because they don't want to deal with that. They want a Band-Aid solution to a deep cut and a deep wound in the black community. A Band-Aid is not going to cut it. You're not going to put a Band-Aid on the flu or a cough. You understand what I'm saying? You can put it on a scratch, but after a while you got to take the Band-Aid off and let the natural elements get to it so it can heal. But even so, when I looked at her essay and read it, when I watched what she's been saying and doing, especially the back and forth thing with Wale, I said, this woman is sick. sick in a different kind of way. White mental illness may not cover, as far as the definition, may not cover what this sister is going through. Maybe Dr. Patricia Newton may have something to cover this. Some of the other brothers and sisters that try to deal with mental health may have something to give her after laying on the couch for a few hours so she can understand that she is her own problem. You know what I call it, just to end this first part of this interview? I call it predictive programming. This is predictable, that whatever's been going on in America, and we kept our finger on the pulse of what's been going on in America, that is almost predicted that America would produce millennials that will cough up someone like Azealia Banks. And you don't find the average white person having enough wherewithal and sense to unravel what she's saying, yet they give her the platform for black people to deal with what she's saying. And then the black people that are stepping up are now having to reach to people like Dr. Francis Cress-Welsing, and guess what? Maybe that's a beautiful thing because it's causing them now to study, to kind of figure out what is the solution to a sick individual like Azealia Banks. How do you go from being in the final call and then the next goddamn week you on the cover of Playboy? How are you coming up and laying out the solution to the issues that affect black men and black people in America, but you wake up every other day gay, lesbian, bisexual, and you lay next to a white man every night? You talk about white mental health. Yeah, white mental health inside of a black, sick, twisted mind, inside of a black, sick, twisted entertainment industry that have given black people like her the platform to become sick and twisted as she is. And guess what? This is exactly what white America needs, because this is what they've done to the black entertainment industry. All you have to do is be sick, twisted, spew whatever you want to spew, regardless whether it's racial or whatever, and they will give you a platform, and they'll listen to your music, and they'll make you the headliner in London at many festivals. That's real.
Yeah. Now, Professor Griff, listening to Azealia Banks speak on whiteness as a mental illness, hearing other people, other speakers speak on post-traumatic slavery syndrome, whether it's Dr. Umar Johnson, whether it's Tariq Nasheed, whether it's Dr. Phil Valentine, whether it's Professor Griff, whoever it is, do you ever think it is hypocritical of you as well as other black speakers to speak on post-traumatic slavery syndrome being the cause of what we're going through, knowing the history of the Moors, knowing that the Moors had white slaves, knowing that the Moors had concubines, knowing what was going on before the white race even came into existence? Do you ever think that the problem existed before, quote-unquote, white people came into existence, Professor Griff?
When you say the problem, the ingredients that we talk about were not necessarily in existence, Brother Rich. If you're actually talking about this whole idea of white mental illness and the whole idea of whiteness, that's not a term that we gave birth to. I don't care if you follow Elijah Muhammad's teachings when he talks about Yaqub, or you follow the Afrocentric thought where they talk about the Grimaldis made their way up out of Africa into Europe and got trapped under the ice. I don't care if you talk about what's the brother name when he talked about the ice people and the sun people? Oh, the French brother. Dr. Jeffries talks about it, but Cheikh Anta Diop's work where he talks about this. And so the ingredients has to be there in order for us to mathematically come up with this kind of equation, Brother Rich. And I don't see it. when you say white slaves, what form of slavery are you talking about? To use them as concubines or prostitutes or whatever, I can understand that particular dynamic. When we say slavery, my mind tends to go to the slavery as I know it, and the slavery as I know it, which I studied different aspects of what slavery is. The ultimate brutality of what slavery actually means to me, when you mention that terminology, when you use that terminology, is the African slave trade, which a lot of people in America now say never really happened. You understand what I'm saying? So the ingredients, Brother Rich, has to be there in order to say, you know something? This always existed. How is it that you have white mental health when black people were doing this all along? So can I ask you a question, Brother Rich, after laying that out?
Yeah.
Did we have a system of black superiority over white people, where we had a system going on where we enslaved white people and we robbed white people of everything?
No.
And subjugated them to our will? No. You can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you put it on the Moors, the aspect of what the Moors did, yes, it is there in the history books, and we cannot deny that. Other cultures, black cultures, subjugated white people to certain mistreatments. We understand that. We are talking about white mental illness from the door, from the rip, from the gate. We're talking about a system. You see, white people don't think they're sick, Brother Rich. Psychopaths and sociopaths, they don't think they're sick. They think everyone else is sick. It's almost like, let me explain it this way in simpler terms. It's almost like you do evil to me, Brother Rich, but because I speak of the evil that you do to me, I'm the one that's guilty. I'm the one that's wrong. Because you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to tell people I did that to you. Even though you did the evil to me, Brother Rich, I'm not allowed to even speak on it. Because as soon as I speak on it, guess what? I'm the guilty one. Oh, look how evil he's speaking. He called her a broad. He called her out of her name. He yelled. He's emotional. He raised his voice. Stop that. The one that actually did the evil, Brother Rich, is the one that should be put under the microscope. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
So what we have to do now is not let them rewrite our ancestors' prescriptions that were given to us to heal us. But yet, we have people like Azealia Banks going to the same people that caused the problem in the first place for healing. You go to Twitter and you kick up beef, calling Wale a nigger and all this other kind of stuff, calling people out of their name, verbally attacking a 17-year-old, and when they shut your Twitter page down, or you rant and rave? Come on, stop that. If you really watch and listen to what this woman is saying, it is really unstable. I don't know what filter anyone else is using, Brother Rich. I read the essay. I started out using the regular I'm just Professor Griff, black man in America filter. That shit did not fucking work. I had to go back over it. I said, wait a minute. Let me turn the volume up. I had to go back and then use I got a little small degree. Maybe I could put that to some use in this case. I know Patricia Newton. I've met Dr. Francis Quest Welsing and had extensive conversation. I've studied her work. Maybe I could put that. I've studied Dr. Naeem Akbar's work. Maybe I could put that to some use. I've sat with Dr. Jeffries. I know Professor Smalls. You understand what I'm saying? I know these brothers, the Anthony Browders and all these brothers. Maybe I could put some of their work to use in kind of unraveling this sister's mind and what she's going through, what she's doing, and what she's spewing. Didn't work, Brother Rich. So I'm at your beckoning period. What can I do? What filter can I put in place to even understand and sift through the madness that this woman is actually spewing? I really, truly don't understand it. Great conversation tonight. Good interview, but I'm saying to you, I'm stumped. I'm stumped to know and understand that, A, you come from Harlem. Harlem gave us a Harlem Renaissance that should serve the base of any artist coming out of Harlem to know and understand the struggle that not only the average artist went through, but the jazz artists, the poets, black people in general, just to establish dance and theater and art. Azealia Banks could have built on that and used that as a foundation. But yet, you start an essay off talking about how black people talked about your hair and you're too skinny and you're too ugly and your blackness. And those are all of the things that white people put on us. Has she not read the Willie Lynch letter? Has she not heard and read and listened to the slave narratives? Has she not heard anything that any of our ancestors and elders still teach us to this day? Those are the things that white people pull on us. So some sick brothers came along and tagged you with that. Guess what, Azealia Banks? Every dark-skinned person in my damn family got hit with that, including myself. So stop that. It's just something that all of us had to deal with in and outside of our families. So when you talk about white mental health, as far as this question that you just asked me is concerned, did it come out of a black social construct, i.e. the Moors or whomever? Hell no, Brother Rich, no. No. It didn't come from a black social construct. We didn't invent the term white. Matter of fact, we didn't even have to call ourselves Africans because we just are. There was no other people on the planet, so we didn't have anyone to compare ourselves to call ourselves anything. We didn't have to name ourselves. We just are. We just who we are, Brother Rich. Plain and simple.
Well, in analyzing what the sister's going through, in particular, when
look at you,
said,
you're even approaching that question with caution. Look at you, because I read some of this stuff, man. It's like wow. But go on, I'm sorry. Go on, brother.
When she speaks about dealing with white men, Professor Griff. Now, I heard your interview last week on Talk with the Titans when you spoke on Sister Azealia and some of the problems you went through with the sister. And let's say, Professor Griff, you dealt with 7 black women in a row that you felt you had problems with. And we all go through problems with women. Women all go through problems with men. Let's say Professor Griff goes through 7 different sisters, and you have problems with the sisters, and to the point where you have to speak about it on a platform like Talk with the Titans or whatever.
Right.
And you heard a story about a black man who says, Professor Griff, don't fuck with them black sisters no more, man. You know why? them white women treat me, man, listen, since I left them black sisters alone, man, listen, Griff, I don't have to deal with that shit. And the only reason why I brought up the example, because it's a real life example, I know you can relate to it, and I know people can relate to it. And this is what's going on. Brothers are dealing with sisters. Sisters are dealing with brothers. Azealia is dealing with brothers. She's saying, you know what? Fuck that shit. I'm going on the other side. So being that you can somewhat understand having a problem with somebody that in your race, do you see, once you hear brothers say, Griff, I don't fuck with sisters, Griff. I fuck with these white women, man. It's easy. Do you think it's easier for you to understand it because you may have gone through something, or just thinking that if I went through this shit 6 times, I definitely could understand what this brother or sister like Azealia is talking about, Professor Griff?
But you know something? I hear that from brothers. You understand? And brothers actually call me and have the conversation with me. They're not afraid. And they openly admit that. But let me say this. I went through a period, something similar to that. I stopped dealing with women from America. Of course, you know I ain't going to deal with no damn cracker. I'm just telling you straight, I'm just not going there. I'm sorry. But the women that I started dealing with from different cultures, Eritrea, Ethiopian, Somalian, you understand what I'm saying? Women from different cultures and in my mind thinking that they're going to bring something culturally different to the table. But guess what, Brother Rich? It is probably the same damn issue, but just crouched and has a different face to it. It's the same shit, though, bro. Racism and white supremacy is a local and global power system and dynamic, structured and maintained by persons who classify themselves as white, whether consciously or subconsciously determined. And it is all over the place. So I don't know what the fuck was wrong with Professor Griff thinking that I can leave the women in America alone and go deal with some sisters, Africa and some London, Amsterdam, and all the places I was traveling, and I'm not going to run into it. Yes, Brother Rich, I ran into it. And just for the record, Brother Rich, I'll deal with 10 Zazas before I deal with a goddamn cracker. Plain and goddamn simple. They can offer me nothing. They can't speak. They can't speak to the ills that their fathers, mothers, fathers have put on us. You understand? They have no solution, no remedy, because they're not concerned about healing black people. They need to be concerned with healing themselves. Not going to happen, man. Not going to happen ever, ever. You understand what I'm saying? So to keep it very real, as I guess that's what they say up on the block, man, and in a buck, it's the Azealia Banks of the world. And there's a lot of sick, twisted mental illness going on in and outside of the conscious community.
Right.
And I get the phone calls every day, Brother Rich. Sometimes I'm with people and I put the phone on speaker and I let people hear what I have to deal with every single day. It's like, how do you do that? Like, what do you do with that? I said, I listen, and if I can help, I help. Well, I have to admit it. I only take 12 calls a day, Brother Rich. My phone number's out. It's been out there for 15 years. Hundreds of thousands of people got my phone number, but I could only take 12 of them calls a day, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Because the level of I don't have the expertise for that. I don't have the training. I don't have clinical hours that I've clocked in, man, to deal with that. You understand what I'm saying? God forbid, man, and this is a true story. There's a white prostitute that calls me sometime, and she just want to know, listen, I got black Johns I got to deal with. Why are they so cheap? I'm like, who? Excuse me? I'm like, lady, please don't call me. Look, stop, seriously. And the sad thing about it, when I block her number, she called me from another one. I'm like, listen, lady, seriously, come on. That is some sick, twisted shit. Come on, man. So, I hope she hear this shit, too, because she always listens. She be quoting shit. But anyway, I'm just saying, man. There's absolutely nothing. Elijah Muhammad said there's nothing that the white man has given us that we could take into the world that we need to create for ourselves to be whole. Not in that way. I'm not quoting him verbatim. He hasn't given us anything of what he has right now. We can't reach for any of that to solve the problem of the black man and woman in America today. Can I honestly sit here right now on this interview and say that all of the elders, if they came together, would we have the ultimate solution for the black man and woman's problems today? Yes, coupled with the fact that they tap into the ancestors, because we have the solution, coming together to have everyone come together in one spirit, one mind, one God, one destiny, one spirit, as Marcus Garvey said, race first. I think if we can get past and beyond ourselves, Brother Rich, I think we have the keys, the master keys, as Azealia said, to solve the issue of the black man and woman in America today without white people. Now, I'm not saying that we're not going to have to negotiate some things with them. Of course we do. And we're going to send our best negotiators in. You understand what I'm saying? To negotiate, to talk about the land rights and, all this other stuff. But to solve our mental health issue, yes, we have to have our greats that's on the scene today come to the table, and we got to just get behind closed doors, man, and leave Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TMZ, leave all them out of it. You understand what I'm saying? And we need to talk among ourselves to come up with solutions to these issues, and we need to get it out to all of the organizations, and everyone need to get on the same page. Brother Rich, there are really, truly, truly some sick, twisted individuals in some of these black organizations, both bougie and grassroots, that are trying to teach other people.
Well, let me ask you. Let me. Go ahead.
No, go on.
Well, being that you said that, you was leading right into my next question, Professor Griff. Why, you're saying sick, twisted individuals, why would somebody with mental issues want to be a leader so bad? We hear it over and over again. We even, even the recent rumors with Bambaataa. I mean, the reason why a regular person thinks, why you go so hard on the outside to uplift the community, uplift humanity, uplift black man, black woman, straight black pride, or whatever the case may be. Nothing about them personally, but I'm just using that as an example. But whatever it may be, you go real hard with that. But behind closed doors, you got all these psychological issues. It doesn't register with the average person, so that's why it's so easy for the individual to get away with it, because the average person is like, nah, it's that, man, listen, this is a good brother, this is a good sister. It can't be true. So why would a person with mental issues even want to be a leader, Professor Griff?
I think it's probably a desire that they may have, Brother Rich, but I think we need to raise the bar on what it is that these particular leaders must have in order to lead the people. The first thing I say, and I'm not the authority on it, how about you have to have an undying love for black people in order to lead black people? How about that? How about you have to have some patience? How about before all of that, you need to clean your backyard up and deal with the mental issues that you may be suffering from before you come teaching black people. For example, I'm very careful about the subjects that I choose. Me and Zaza did a lecture in, I think it was St. Louis. Yeah, it was St. Louis. And we dealt with black male-female relationships. Me and Zaza was not qualified to talk about that. So what we did was we put a twist on it. We talked about the black male-female relationship on how we as black man and woman relate to everything else. You understand what I'm saying? We still got to relate to white people. We have to relate to other people around the globe. We have to relate to some kind of idea of a financial economic structure. We have to relate to politics. We got to relate to certain foods we should and shouldn't eat. And that was the spin that we put on it, and I think people got it. Now, I'm not qualified unless I have a successful relationship. I could tell people some of the stories and some of the stuff I've been through, but that doesn't equate to success. As a man coming out of a family of 13, being married twice, where's my success story? Where's my mate with my children in my home, and where's that family structure? I don't have that story. You understand what I'm saying? So I would never go do a lecture or do an interview, black male-female relationships by Professor Griff. Hell nah. I'm not qualified to speak on that. And I think that's one of the things that we have to recognize as the individual. You shouldn't have to tell me, yo, Griff, seriously, bro, you about to talk about nuclear physicist stuff, that kind of, splitting atoms and all that kind of stuff. Are you really qualified to talk? I'd have to be honest with you, nah, bro, Rich. But it sounds good. Shit. It may get me some likes on Facebook and shit. You understand? And guess what? To a lot of people, that's all it takes. And that's all they look for. Some fucking likes. That's it. You straight. You good. And now you become the authority on it. Now people are booking you as the nuclear physicist, and you ain't got training or a degree to first. But now you become the authority on it because you got over, 10,000 likes on a post that you put up. Come on, man. No, we have to qualify ourselves. Qualify ourselves to even deal with a particular subject. I think I'm qualified to talk about the psychological covert war on hip-hop. I lived it, right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm qualified to know and understand from the inside out how this Illuminati do their thing inside of hip-hop. Because I was there. I'm there, rather. I see it. I see it maneuvering. I sat at the feet of Steve Coakley. I sat at the feet of many of the elders and some of the ancestors that people only talk about. I was there with them and still am. So only those subjects that I feel that I'm qualified to speak on, that I kind of take those subjects on and I go try to educate black people. If there's something that I'm lacking as far as in the mental health department, now, Brother Rich, let's not get it twisted. I know Professor Griff. I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. And I've often said it on here with you and on other interviews. You understand what I'm saying? I know my strength is organizing men dealing with military science. Mm-hmm. I know that. I know I can train killers, soldiers. I know that about me. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And maybe that's one of my strengths. But maybe one of my weaknesses is being able to balance that out. Being in a household and, you know, your wife or your girlfriend do something wrong, so get out and give me 10. You know, which is like, God damn, dude. That may not be cool. I'm just saying, I'm cut from a different cloth. I know and understand all of the things that, especially the women now tell me. You're born under a certain star sign. These are the qualities that go with you being a lion, a Leo, born on the 1st, born at 5:30 in the morning. You the 7th son. Then King Simon throws his stuff in there. You the 7th son, 12th child. You weigh this much. You got these many curls in your hand, and he equates it. I got you. I'm good. Right. I'm good. All of that equates to the fact that, okay, this is who I am, and I've been put on the planet at the time that I'm supposed to be on the planet, doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's just real. I'm just saying to you, let's qualify ourselves to lead our people. But listen, Brother Rich, why we even having that discussion about a goddamn leader? Why is it that we can't lead ourselves? Brother Rich get knowledge of himself, know and understanding his strengths and weaknesses. Then you hook up with a like-minded person like Professor Griff. I get knowledge of self. I understand my strengths and weaknesses. We come together and we check one another and we lead ourselves. Why we have to have a leader? Now, don't get me wrong. Please don't get it twisted. Some of us need to be led. If we're talking about mental health right now, some of us need to be led. Am I right or wrong, Brother Rich? Indeed. Yes. Because I swear, after the statements I made in that interview and some stuff on Facebook, this cat is ready to go take heads. And I'm not stupid. I know what to say and what not to say. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, calm down, chill out. You understand what I'm saying? Just fall back. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't time for that, man. It's not time for that. Because I am not, and I'm speaking directly about that situation with Zaza, I am not going to sit and watch this thing play out and this cracker sit back and laugh at the both of us. So then he knocked me off and put the blame on her and then throw the blame on her dude. You understand what I'm saying? So he killed 3 birds with 1 stone. Am I right or wrong? That's the COINTELPRO being played out all over again in 2016. Am I right or wrong? Mm-hmm. Now, wait a minute, Brother Rich. The average person listening to this could be saying, so, you know something, Professor Griff got a point. But I thought they had knowledge of stuff and they were smarter than that. Because those were the same 2 that I learned about the COINTELPRO. And they're falling right into the trap. We have to be mindful of that, Brother Rich. Am I right or wrong? Mm-hmm. Let's not feed into the very same thing we claim to have knowledge of. If we know and understand COINTELPRO, if we know and understand that it could have been someone else that set the trap and put information out there about her or about me, and then point the finger and blame it on these dudes or this dude over here. Set the fake Facebook message or fake message through somebody's phone. Why do we think past this cracker and we so quick to blame and shoot and kill one another? Am I right or wrong? Did they not do it with the Panther Party? What makes us any different? We have to be mindful of these particular things and start thinking, like we always say, we have to start playing chess and checkers, man. Because I'm telling you, there's some sick scientists that's playing this sick, twisted game with us, man, that they have us at one another's throat. And they're sitting back laughing like, okay, them niggas is not as smart as they thought they were. Look at them at each other's throats. You understand what I'm saying? And then we so focused on destroying one another, the bigger issue is being played out right in front of our eyes, man. They killed the sister that was one of the first black women that was supposed to testify at the hearings in Flint, Michigan about the water crisis. They bumped her off and no one said anything, Brother Rich. No one said anything. They knocked the sister off. The damn doctors disappeared. The ones that was at Prince's at Paisley Park. One of them just disappeared. Ain't nobody said Sinead O'Connor disappeared. Ain't nobody said shit. I haven't heard anybody. You?
No.
Did anybody go to the hospital where they made the emergency landing at to go investigate and talk to those people? Nah. And who the fuck makes TMZ the goddamn authority on Prince's death? TMZ, like I said I think 2 weeks ago, TMZ is an intelligence operation going on, man, playing out right on social media and on the small screen right in front of our eyes. I kept promising to tell people what TMZ stands for, so I think it's a good time that we actually say it. Should we?
Yeah, good.
They the true master Zionists, man. And I'm not biting my tongue, Brother Rich. Some white people may come on under this thread and like, oh, here we go with the Jewish thing again. No. Let's look at who owns TMZ. Warner Brothers, right? Let's look at who they are and who they connected with. Come on, man. This is real, Brother Rich. This is not play. We're talking about the lives of our people. And we always find the same people at the crux of different issues when it concerns our people. If you look deeper into the Michael Jackson thing, you'll find them there. Sony. If you look deep into the Prince thing, you'll find them there. Sam Cooke, Don Cornelius, James Brown. Come on, man. We'll find them. We find them there. I'm not going to go too deep into that because I want to be able to bring up proof and documentation so I can show people. Because people are not going to believe Professor Griff. All right.
No, I'm sure they
not.
Yeah. I'm sure the people looking forward to that presentation, man, because that's something that people definitely need to hear, Professor Griff.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, look, I have the proof, I have the evidence, but some people may write me off as a conspiracy theorist, and then put me in that box and write me off and just say, oh, okay, it's conspiracy theory. Next, you understand? Because I know how our people think. Not only some of the people trying to lead our people are sick, some of the people that they're trying to lead, Brother Rich, are sick. How is that you watch one or two YouTube clips and you buy a book from the Book Nook, you understand, and you read it and all of a sudden you become an authority on that particular subject? No, you're not. You're not an authority on that. I'm not saying it's X amount of hours you got to put in, but come on, man. I've argued about this Illuminati stuff, this psychological covert war. I've questioned people. You understand what I'm saying? It took years and years and years to even formulate a methodology on how to put certain things in place. So years ago, I was walking around with that in my chest. And one of the first lectures I did was with Sonetta and Curtis Davis on his blog talk show. And then I started slowly talking about this Illuminati thing, and I kind of let it all out. You understand what I'm saying? So, no, that took years to formulate, man. That wasn't something I came up with overnight. You understand? I read a David Icke book or watch Michael Tessarian or somebody or Jordan Maxwell and, I'm gonna talk about the Illuminati today. Come on, man, no. And then I was transparent. People can question me. I put the book together. They can question me. I'm not saying I'm an authority on it. I'm not. I think to a degree I'm qualified to speak on it from a hip-hop perspective because I live this. That's all.
Let's see. What do you think, Professor Griff?
Whoa, hold on, Brother Rich.
Yeah.
I know this is unorthodox, but can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Do we have a method or infrastructure put in place that when we do find that individual trying to lead our people that have some issues, be they mental health issues, mommy, daddy issues, how do we go about letting that person know, or black people know, or the conscious community know that, look, we need to pull that person aside and kind of talk for a minute? Because right now, anybody can have a blog talk show.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And spew, right? So is there an infrastructure or method that
There's really not.
Okay, so can I give you a real live example? There's people out there, and I'm not going to mention any names, I staunchly disagree with 85% of what they teach. Mm-hmm. But you will never hear me mention their names. I would love to talk to them and pull them aside so I could kind of talk to them. I'm not trying to convince them of anything, but I just want to get an understanding of some things. But that person has the freedom and the right to teach what they want to teach, right or wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have to be able to say the collective unit of black people that's actually going to galvanize our people together and move towards this concept of being independent of white people so we can formulate a nation within a nation, right? That kind of stuff we cannot let inside of that particular circle, Brother Rich. Who's going to be the judge and jury, though? I don't know, Brother Rich. Mm-hmm. I'm not casting dispersions on anyone. I don't know. But there needs to be a methodology and filters set up. You understand what I'm saying? I heard Dr. Khalid Muhammad going off one time at one of the conferences. And they were talking about spaceships and stuff on Mars and faces on Mars and all. He said, why the fuck are we even talking about that? We're not even free. Can we talk about what it's going to take to get us free? And then we can talk about Mars and Pluto and the rest of that stuff? And I think practical stuff is what we need right now as a people. And then there needs to be, I'm going to say this, and I'm saying this with caution, there needs to be a unified collective school of thought, Brother Rich. For example, when you call me and say, Professor Griff, I think we should discuss Azealia Banks tonight, dealing with the white mental health, blah, 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 blah. Immediately, you got to study, I got to study, we both got to research, right or wrong?
Right.
And I'm saying to you, in order for someone to be qualified, we at least have to put together a curriculum that everyone, I don't care who you are, hip-hop head, RBG, Hebrew this, blah, 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 whoever you are, there's just certain people that you have to study so at the end of the day, we're all on the same page. Would you agree that we all have to study Francis Cress Welsing and Marcus Garvey? We have to study Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammad, right?
Right.
Come on, man. We have to study them. We have to. I'm sorry. Stolen Legacy, Destruction of Black Civilization, Ivan Van Sertima's work, Jeffrey's work, Leonard and Rosalind Jeffrey's work. We got to study that. There's no other Dr. Ben's work, Ashwa Kwesi, Renoko Rashidi, Anthony Browder. We have to know their work in order for us to come to the table, to even have the conversation, Brother Rich. I am so very sorry. Before you come to the table to discuss anything, get that under your belt and then we can talk. Right. That's only fair. if you're a virtuoso at sports, Brother Rich, right? And you know basketball, you know stats, you know players, you know who've been traded, you know salaries, you know teams, owners, whatever. Can I come and I halfway know who the fuck is? I don't even know the starting five for the Lakers. But can I come have that conversation with you? No, I'm not qualified, Brother Rich. Right?
Right.
And I'm just saying, we as a people, and those of us that truly want to be in front of our people as spokespeople and leaders and whatever, I think we should just kind of press the pause button and go back and qualify ourselves, man, for real.
Indeed. And you know, I was and this is I was about done. This is the last question. I was watching a video. There's a young brother, up and coming brother on the scene, goes by the name Young Pharaoh. Similar teachings to Delbert Blair. Yeah. Similar teachings to Delbert Blair. He features on Sarnetta's channel sometimes. He's been on my channel twice before, I believe. He recently had a video that I've seen people sharing called "Draining Our Leaders," and he spoke on the fact of the difficulty of trying to liberate a people who still curse you out, still tell you ain't shit. He says when he says the black woman is God, the brothers call him a faggot, call him a sissy, call him a punk, call him a simp, all of that. And, you know, he was just speaking about the emotional stress of being a leader for people who, some of them don't really appreciate it. And some of them attack you harder. The harder you go for your people, it seems as though the harder they go at you. Like, oh, this nigga Griff going to go hard this week? I'm going to go hard at Griff this week. So I want to ask you from an OG perspective. Now, this brother's younger than me and you. I believe the brother's 23 years old, 24.
Wow.
But from an OG perspective, somebody that's been holding it down since, I mean, you've been doing this thing. If you talk about somebody needing validation or somebody needing credentials or somebody needing a resume, Professor Griff got it. You've been doing this for a long time. So there's nobody better to ask than a person like yourself. Hearing what the brothers say, knowing what you've been through, Professor Griff, knowing when you do these videos and you deal with what we deal with on the show, and then when you look at the video, the comments, and people like, you know what, fuck Griff. Griff is down with the Illuminati. He's an Illuminati puppet. Or Griff is a fool. Or Griff is this. Or Griff is that.
Right.
How does it make you feel as a person who's trying to, because on a smaller scale, somebody may just be in their neighborhood trying to liberate their people, and because they're trying to do that, their neighbors calling them a cool, or calling them this, or calling them that. So it affects different people on different levels. But I want to ask Professor Griff on his level, how do you feel about attempting to liberate people who come back, who some of them, I don't want to say, I don't want to dare say that, because I appreciate all the support, but who some of them come back and spit in your face when you try to liberate them. How do you feel about that, Professor Griff? Because maybe, one more thing, Professor Griff, maybe entertainers feel like that as well, and he mentioned that, entertainers, maybe Azealia Banks, so I don't know who, I'm just saying, maybe entertainers feel like that as well. So just answer that, not saying nobody in particular, but go ahead, Professor Griff.
Right. Well, you know, I don't normally speak from my feelings because I don't want to get caught up and people blame me for speaking from my feelings, because feelings tend to change. So let me say this from my feelings. When I read that stuff, of course, man, when I read it and there's an actual real person attached to it, I always leave my number for that person, because I always feel that I can dialogue with that person. I don't want to throw the brother's name out there, but there was a brother coming at me recently, the other day. I said, I left him a message on the Facebook thing, and I said, and guess what? My number's still the same, dude. This brother says, okay. He called me. We dialogued. We end up laughing and joking at the end of the conversation, bro. Because anytime we can discuss some things, we can get clarity, and we can get past the misunderstanding, and we cool. And that's what happened with me and that brother. And if he's listening to this, he know who he is. Real story, Brother Rich. There's a show coming on tomorrow with my man Stevie. Brother, I'm doing business with him and his mom, who own the Dream Cafe in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm about to broadcast live from there. the Alchemical Cipher. Me and him was riding today, and we were talking, and real handsome brother, strong brother, ex-football player. He's on that new show coming on tomorrow night, The Bachelor, right? He said he did an interview, and he was on Wendy Williams' show. And he said just from a brother growing up in the hood, right, not, you know how we talk with our hands? He said he positioned, his hands in a way where, he wanted to present himself real elegant, real calm, real cool, real sophisticated. So he just kind of put his hands together. But the way he put his hands together, somebody came on, took a picture of it, put it up, and came on under there and says, "You see, this Negro throwing up Mason signs and Illuminati signs." He looked at me today. He was like, "Man, I ain't no goddamn Mason." He said, "I don't even know what them people talking about." He said it hurt him so bad, man. His brother's conscious.
Right.
His brother's conscious, man. He said it hurt him so bad. He asked me the same question you just asked me. How do you do it, man? I said, man, you have to have an undying love for our people. When I say an undying love for our people, the sick ones among us are really, truly sick. And guess what, brother? They don't even know that they're sick. They don't even know they're sick. It's almost like they're drowning and you throw them a life raft and they kick it away or knock it away and they say, "Nah, I don't want that. You got to throw me the right life raft in the way I want you to throw it." What? So you have to have love. I'm telling you. You have to have more love for them than they hate themselves, man. I'm telling you. You do. And at the end of the day, this is how I sift through that madness. First of all, if you're not going to show me your picture and who you are on Facebook or any of these other things, I don't pay no attention to whatever you got to say. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
This brother told me the other day, he says, "Look, I put my real picture up there, and that's my real name. I ain't ducking from nobody, Professor Griff. And you see, I'm calling you like a real man." I said, "I appreciate that, bro." And that's how him and I, having this degree of transparency, him and I was able to work our issue out. But these people that come on there and they hide, we don't know who they are, brother. So I can't even take them serious. And this is one of the issues that I brought up in that interview I did with the Titan TV. You bragging about your numbers on Facebook and how many followers. Shit, I got 3 Facebook pages and all of them are full. And they only let you have 5,000. I know more than 15,000 people. But I'm saying, Facebook friends, Brother Rich, is like fucking having Monopoly money and you fucking think it is real. Shit. This shit ain't real. It's not real. This is why I said I got real soldiers in the street, man. Real people that I meet. This is how come I'm among the people. I'm not trying to be a leader. You know that, Brother Rich. I'm trying to lead and master myself. I ain't trying to lead nobody nowhere. And somebody accused me of that recently. Talk about he's supposed to be a community leader. What the fuck is a community leader? That's a white people term that they pay your ass a salary for to work at the youth center. I'm way beyond that. I'm trying to master myself and lead myself so people can see that and be like, you know something? If Griff could do it, I could do it. Yo, Griff, what book? What teacher? What lesson? Here you go. This is how I did it. Here, you can do it too. Here you go. Master yourself. Lead yourself. You understand what I'm saying? I want to have an army of educated soldiers. You understand what I'm saying? I'd rather roll with 10 brothers, man, that got knowledge of self and that are fearless than to roll with 1,000 people that's unsure, man. You understand what I'm saying? You know, true story. I kept telling this brother, man, we was handling some business, right? Kept telling this brother, man, don't stand on my right, man. I'm right-handed. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Do
not stand on my right side. End up shooting the dude in the arm. Fuck. Like, yo, dude. I told you I'm right-handed. When I'm pulling, man, I'm pulling with my right hand. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Stand to my left. But anyway, we'll talk about that later on. So I'm just saying, we have to be able to have patience with our people, and we have to qualify ourselves, Brother Rich. Azealia Banks, some of us ain't going to make it, Brother Rich. And if she's not reaching to those of us that are already out there that have the solution to our problems, she's reaching for the wrong people, man, or reaching to the wrong people, pardon me. And a lot of people that responded under that tweet was basically let her know, I'm not here to disrespect you, Azealia. You understand what I'm saying? But we have to be able to find a way to reach her. And the only way we have to reach her is through the medium that white people control. Are you following me? If I have to argue with you through Facebook, then both of us lose, Brother Rich. If I got to argue with you, Brother Rich, through YouTube, we lose, man. We lose. Am I right or wrong? If our argument is solely we tweeting back and forth or we texting back and forth, we lose, man, because some people got control of that. Am I right or wrong?
Indeed.
What happened to the day of, yo, man, can I talk to you? Yeah, what's up? Yo, do me a favor, man, meet me at so-and-so, so let's break some bread, let's talk, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And we talk. And we talk.
On that note, Professor Griff, man, another great show. Please leave the people any contact information you got so they can hit you up, get in contact, any lectures, anything, book signings, documentaries, anything you got to tell the people.
Okay, just to let the people know that the Funk Jazz Cafe, May 21st, which was the first filming of the Artifactual movie, the Funk Jazz has been postponed, so we're not going to film Saturday. Monday, I will be in Portland, Oregon, breaking bread with the brothers and sisters, and that's actually going to be the first day we're going to film Artifactual. And then Saturday, I'll be right back in St. Louis filming again, doing a lecture dealing with the musicology, madness, music, mayhem, money, and the motherfucker. That's actually the name of the lecture. Because I kind of think we can deal with the musicology, the money, madness, music, but we got to deal with the motherfucker. I'm sorry.
Right.
Plain and simple. And after that, of course, my book is coming out, Symbology, The Psychological Covert War on Hip-Hop, Part 2. And I'm releasing it June 17th at the Power Talk 3 in Washington, D.C. It's a tribute to Claude Anderson, man, and his great work, man. His great work. So my number is 678-557-2919. 678-557-2919. Public Enemy is going to be on tour on the Art of Rap tour with Ice-T, MC Light, a slew full of other artists is going to be on the Art of Rap tour this summer. There's a couple of tours that are out, man, and we're going to crisscross the country, break bread, and do some great things and some serious music and take the people back to the old first Public Enemy album days. Yo, Bum Ruster show. For real. So it should be a good thing. Just to let you know, I'm attempting right now to have 2 DJs on stage, and we're going to bring back DJ Terminator X.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm hitting them up now. I'm like, look, let's bring back Terminator X for a couple of shows, and let's see what it do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, Terminator X was one of the ones that was inducted with us in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because, that was the original crew. Definitely got mad love for DJ Lord and the rest of the crew. You understand what I'm saying? And shout out to Chuck D for being on the show last week. That was the longest show we've ever done, 2 hours, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chuck be telling some damn stories, and I don't know why he let it out the bags. I listen to heavy metal. But anyway, we'll talk about that.
Shout out to Chuck D, man. But yeah, definitely, people definitely support Professor Griff and what he got going on. Shout out to Chuck D. And this is Brother Rich, Underground Railroad, another magnificent show. We signing out, family, and we going to see y'all next week. Peace, family.
Peace.
Peace, family. This is Brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of $1. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figure since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion, I ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.